to a training day with me. My name's Adam Kaplan and you're with Unique Sales Professional Training. And today we're going to talk about time management. Time management is very important when you're in business. So let me ask you, how many of you in here have difficulties managing your time? Okay, big show of hands. Let me ask you some questions. Who here is having a problem at the moment with their time management? Okay, tell me about your problem. Okay, so you're finding that you're getting in early to work and leaving late and you're still not getting everything done. Anyone else in here have that problem? Okay, so how can you solve it? How do you deal with it at the moment? Yeah, okay, so you walk through your lunch breaks. How many of you have found yourself working through your lunch breaks? Well, that's virtually all of you. So what can we do about this? That's what today's going to be about. How can we get you to get more done in the time allotted? Now, are there people in your organisations that do get everything done when they need to do it? So are there people in your organisations that get all the work done in the time allotted and never seem to work late? Okay, so what do they do different? Okay, let me ask you this. If we can today look at some skills, tips and techniques that will help you avoid those time management problems, would that be of interest to you? Okay, good. Let's look at some of the common ones now. So one of the things you said that you were having was not getting everything done by the end of the day. Okay, now how does that make you feel when you go home? Right, so you feel a bit depressed. How many of you in here often feel a sense of unease when you go home and you haven't finished the things you wanted to do during the day? Okay, so quite a lot of you. So if we can get you to complete the tasks that you're trying to set yourself during the day, do you think that will give you a better feeling during the work day? So what you're saying is you're going to enjoy work more. Then how's that going to make you be at home? How are you going to be with the family, the wife and kids? Do you think you'll be happier, calmer, more relaxed? And what's that going to do to their childhood? So you can see that we're talking about something very big here. Not just your happiness, but the happiness of your kids. So let's think about this really seriously, because this is important stuff. You might think it's a minor thing, but being able to do the things you need to do day in and day out so that when you get home, your family benefit from you being a happier, more relaxed individual can only be a good thing. Not only for you, but for the rest of the world. I did say I was going to change the world for that. So this is a very, very common one. Being unable to say no to taking on more work. How many of you have felt that your bosses, your managers, your team leaders, your other half have said to you, I need you to do more, I need you to do this, could you just do this, it will only take that. Meanwhile, your day is falling apart because by taking this little bit of extra work on means you can't complete. How many of you have found that? A show of hands. Well, it can't be all of you. Really? Okay, good. Not that I didn't expect this. So, not getting everything done by the end of the day can also sometimes be caused by being unable to say no. Now, what stops you from saying no? Sorry? Okay, fear. Fear of what? Alright, letting people down? What about fear of, I don't know, being naughty, being seen to be unhelpful, particularly in this economic climate? So if I could show you how you can say no and not lose face or lose the perceived position within your business, would that be of interest? Okay, that's something we'll try and do for you. Good. Okay. Anything else that we've had issue? Meetings. It's the big one. Brilliant. Okay, let's just put meetings on here. What sort of things happen to you in meetings? So meetings that aren't scheduled. What about the rest of you? Do you often feel that you have to go to meetings and can't say no to those extra meetings? Okay, well, we'll look at that as well. So this is another area where people often find their time management as an issue. Disorganisation. But there's two aspects to this. One is yourself, not being organised yourself. But how often have you had to wait because of the disorganisation of others? How many times have you had to do their work for them? Or clean up their work? Or tidy up somebody else's mess? All of which takes time. Now there's things that we're going to be able to do today that will help you deal with the others that are disorganised and others that will help you deal with your own disorganisation. So the last one, yes, is interruptions. I think I've spelled that correctly. Getting interrupted. Why should getting interrupted for 30 seconds feel like it's set you back 10 minutes? You know, that feeling where you're sitting there, you're cracking on doing what you're doing, and then somebody comes and says, oh, can I just ask you a quick question? And before you know it, what's that? Yeah, so before you know it, somebody has thrown you off kilter because your mind had to change gear from talking what you were or doing what you were doing to suddenly having to deal with another issue. And it's not so much the change from doing what you were doing to dealing with the other issue that's the issue. It's the change back. What was I thinking about? Where was I? And trying to reclaim your thought process, because that can be so difficult. Now I'm going to look at something called left brain, right brain. I don't know if anybody in here has heard of that before. A couple of you. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it again for everyone's benefit. So it's a fact of life that some people are very organised and some people appear less organised. It's a fact of life that some people are more creative and some people are more pragmatic and by the book. Now, that doesn't mean that one type of person is better than another, but it does mean that there are different types of people, and some people are partly creative and partly organised. Now, this is where left brain, right brain comes into it, and in a moment I'm going to ask you to do an assessment that will identify for you what sort of brain you have. This allows you to look at what your strengths are and your weaknesses, so you can work on the weaknesses and accept your strengths.